When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Muga. Fresh off a 2-2 draw with Sutton, which feels like a loss. Quickly go around and introduce this evening's panel. Seb, how's it going, mate?
I'm good, man. It's 9 a.m. It's MR10. By the way, Discord listeners, just because you pay, I just want to let you know we've done the intro 3 times. So, yeah, man.
Timmy, how's it going, mate?
Oh, go on.
Oh, man, sorry, bro. Damn. I hope you have a productive pod, Timmy. Rodney, how's it going, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. What's going on?
Yeah, it is what it is, man. Disu, good to see you, brother. Looking good. Yo, unmute yourself. Before you insult me, unmute yourself. Now, go on, insult me now.
No,
cool.
man.
We're here, man. What can we do, man? Life goes on. Elijah, how's it going, mate?
It's all good, bro. Still 9 a.m.
It is, man. He made you proud. He made you proud tonight.
Of course, man. That's my boy.
And special guest, Nikki. How's it going, Nikki?
I'm good. Maguire out. McTominay out. That's it.
All of them, man. Daniel, don't forget Daniel James as well. Fred too. DDG, aka
James,
CTE.
Out. You know the vibes. Get him out.
How about Wan-Bissaka? We keeping him or
expeditiously?
He's black. He's black.
Nah.
He's black. That's low.
Cool. Before we start, I have to just do my usual and plug the socials. So it was a hell of an evening on Discord tonight. Me, Seb, and Timmy. Well, we were there. We were frontline as we always are, and the boys let us down. But for those of you who haven't joined our Discord community, sign up. We're about 750 listeners deep now. Great spaces for conversation, discussion, not just football. We've got spaces for other things as well. So sign up to our Discord community. We've just started our Patreon page. I'll share that while I'm sharing the podcast in the morning. But we put up our first piece of exclusive content, which is the start of our 30 top players of the Premier League era series. That's exclusive content. It gives you access to our touchline lives, which go off like a house on fire. So sign up to our Patreon, support the team. For those of you who prefer to watch, and I'm guessing you're going to want to watch this one, we've got our YouTube page. While you're watching, please make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, engage, let us know what you like, what you don't like. And other than that, enjoy the pod. Peace. Let's get into it. Let's start from the beginning. Oh
my God.
They were the better team for the whole match.
Fendi facts.
They were the better team. They were the better team for the whole match.
Man came to OT and picked up the Sky remote and started changing the channel and that.
They don't want me to give you nothing. They don't want you to have nothing. They don't want us to have nothing. I fucking hate these youths, blood. Fucking hell, blood. Jesus Christ. They went missing. Man went missing, bruv. Oh.
Hey.
Fam, do you know what's so bad, about this, is fucking... Like, not one... Well, actually, Lindelof and Martial played good. Rashford played all right. But, like, a whole defence, other than, like... Well, I don't even know. Like, Lindelof was...
He was good. He was good, man.
Yeah,
He should have stopped my man at the end, but he
was... like... But that's what you're judged on, though, man. That's what you're judged on.
I'm not pointing out Lindelof.
But that's what you're judged on, bruv. At the end, your centre backs are supposed to clear that, man. Regardless, if you play good for 8-9 minutes or whatever, your centre backs, regardless, you're supposed to clear that up, innit?
You don't switch off at that stage in the game.
Yeah,
you don't switch off.
I don't even think he switched off. I just think Obafemi held him off, man.
Bro, imagine Obafemi holding you off, bruv. Come on, man. Let's be real. What's going on there, man? What's going on?
Is them sure African dons, man?
Was Lindelof on the line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. Think about it.
Bro, Obafemi's backed into him, like...
Man of Fred, and Lindelof went to engage him. The guy got there first. That's what it is to me, bro. Like, at the end of the day, man of Fred, bro. Man of Fred.
Lindelof was tussling with him before the ball came, bro.
Oh, he was on the line?
Yeah, he was tussling. Like, he come off the line to engage him, but the ball came while they're like tussling, and the guy's in front of Lindelof. Like he's always going to get the ball first, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like his positioning was just all over the place. I see what he was trying to do, but you just, bro, like goal side is just.
You know what? Even a goal, yeah, we can talk about the goal. Obviously, it was poor, but let's have it right, bro. Like we couldn't play today, and the thing is,
at all. Let's start from the beginning.
People will look at Oli, but I'm not too sure because I think the man them were mad tired. So I feel like Oli thought he had to make the changes. I understand that. Like Pogba was playing terrible and he looked shattered. So I hear it. But Fred, we looked worse when Pogba...
The worst, I said on the Discord, the only Fred that's better than Pogba is Fred at his best. And you only get Fred at his best when he's had a run of games. You don't put him in the middle of a high-pressure game where we're being pressed. Fred, we're being pressed. What did he do? In those half an hours?
He just kept on coming on.
Just kick him, man.
And
losing the ball.
Do you know the worst thing about it, yeah? Is, you know, when certain man come on and it's just vibes. He wasn't even vibes in. It's not even a vibes thing with Fred, bro.
He was stressed, bro. He was stressed. Why did you bring me like? Why are you bringing me onto this
team? Yeah, you see this team. Yeah, we have no composure whatsoever. Like.
No, but
when
do you know,
when the big dogs come off, we've got zero composure.
And do you know what? Do you know what? And the other day I tweeted you, I said, regardless of what happens, if they don't get Oli 4 players in this window, then forget about it. Because the drop in quality, is disgusting, man. It's not like you can never be a top team if that's your bench.
Thinking about it, I think we should have just kept Pogba and Greenwood on because I think we
should have.
Bro, you needed. Pogba was being sloppy, yeah, but he's a technically assured player, generally speaking. So he's gonna do something. Like Fred couldn't breathe, bro. He didn't want the ball, and when he got it, he couldn't breathe. But
that's shameful,
we're all talking.
Man.
Let's get to the start. Let's go back. How you doing, Elijah, man? You right, yeah?
God.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Let's get back to the start of the game. Let's try and go through it chronologically. Everyone can tell me what they saw. So, lineup. Obviously, we're all happy. We saw our strongest team. We were a bit worried before the game just because Matic was getting to the stage where he was looking very leggy, but we understood the need to play him. But boy, did they target him. Him and Pogba got pressed to death. Let's talk about it. The first goal that we conceded. Rodney, thoughts?
Yeah, it's just that was poor from Pogba. I think I don't know if Oli actually went through the game plan with the lads, but when you're playing Southampton, regardless whether it's Pogba or whoever, you don't really want to be playing the ball centrally. You want to be going out wide and then switch it centrally after you come from out wide. But still, it was poor from Pogba. I think he's a bit lackadaisy in possession there. It's just poor for him because he should know. He dropped a disaster class against Southampton before as well, so he should know better. He should know that they're one of the best pressing teams in the world, so just get rid of the ball. Yeah, it was poor on his part, but he had a poor game overall. But people need to understand Southampton aren't a bad team. Like, no one thought it was going to be an easy game. And that showed
we were
today.
nervous. We were nervous.
Yeah. Well, one man thought it was going to be an easy game, but
yeah.
Bro, who's one man? Me.
Yeah.
Bruv, Rodney thought it was going to be 4-1. Don't let him get away with that.
Was that your prediction, Rodney? Was that your prediction, Rodney?
Yeah, it was, but I didn't think it was going to be an easy game.
Don't ever try and don't ever.
Our predictions, yeah.
A difficult 4-1 still.
Yeah.
Rodney goes 4-1. Stop that.
You know, like when it's 2-1 all game, and then the last 5-10 minutes they cross up and then boom.
No,
I knew you, bro. You know what I mean?
But certain man was saying all day, easy dub. Even during the game, when we was getting pressed, when we was poor, he was saying easy dub.
Listen, don't try and catch a W on me. Ultimately, you said it was going to be 4-1.
You know, like, I see it on the timeline.
You said it was going to be 4. You said it was going to be 4-1. You said it was going to be 4-1.
We was 1-0 down. You
said it was going to be 4-1.
Easy dub, boys.
What was the score? Stop that, bro. I had faith in my boys. We went 2-1 up, then Oli fucked it up, bro. I know the man them are tired.
Oh,
I know the man them are tired. At the end of the day, if we play the proper team, hey, it's a new thing still. If we play the proper team, then we win the game, bro. We win the
What do you
game.
mean?
Like, but man are tired, bro. Fam, from when you finish a game with McTominay, Fred, and Daniel James on the pitch,
Yeah,
fam,
but you should
you
be able
really
to
think
do
you're
that.
gonna hold on?
But you should
I
be
was
able
never
to.
confident of holding on.
You should be able
I
to
was
do that.
never
That's the thing.
confident of holding on.
That's the
But
that's the worst thing about it.
that's how bad the drop off is. That is how bad the drop off is.
The-
That you're not even confident that for 10 minutes you can hold on to a lead, bro.
Hey, wait,
I was
who's
not
that?
confident when I see them, man.
Nicky.
Hey,
my
Nikki.
days.
How you doing?
What? Nikki come through, yeah?
You know the
I'm dead.
vibe.
know the vibes.
We don't know the vibes at all. I
Fuck
can't
the
even lie.
vibes, man.
True.
Oh god. Yeah, we'll start with you, Nikki. As your our guest. What were your thoughts? We were just kind of talking about the start of the game, the goal that Pogba gave away. But yeah, what were your thoughts on the kind of beginning, the first 20, 30 minutes of the game?
Rattled me, quite honest, if I'm honest. No, simple as they played us off the park. Let's be real, and that's it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no one can rebuttal that.
That's it. Like, there's nothing else. There's nothing else.
She didn't lie, bro. She didn't lie, bro.
That's it.
Okay, let's go through the players. Let's go through the team. DDG, was he at fault for any of the goals?
The first goal.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
That was a stupid
Allow it,
pass.
bro. What do you mean it's a stupid pass?
That was a stupid. You don't. No.
Bro,
No.
it's not every day you try and find
Guys.
No.
This is going out to the world. Please.
Chaos.
No. I'm not having it, bro.
No, wait.
Guys, please. Please.
Allow it, bro.
Let's start again.
Nah.
Guys, please. Timmy, Elijah, please, we can disagree. Let's not shout at each other because this pod, they're going to be dunking on us for the next few days. Let's at least, like, these boys, they've embarrassed me. Fucking hell, bro. I sucked my neck out. I was nervous, yeah? I was nervous. Oh my gosh. Okay,
cool. Bro.
So,
I was Mr. Confident, bro.
I was talking wicked on Discord yesterday. So much. Oh, I can't believe.
Nah, that's why I kept my mouth shut today, bro. I kept my mouth shut today because. But yeah, I mean.
Let's talk about that first goal. So I'll let Elijah go first, and then Timmy. And Timmy, you can rebuttal Elijah. So Elijah.
So basically, I'm saying if you're facing a pressing team like Southampton, those passes into midfield, you don't play them. Like make no mistake about it. That is Pogba's fault because like he turned too slow. He wasn't aware of his surroundings. But don't play it into Pogba in the first place to give him that choice. Like any goalkeeper, like if you think about Edison or Allison, they kick that to their fullback because you can actually see Southampton had a proper press on us. So play that into Pogba with his back to their goal. Like it didn't make any sense. But making no mistake about it, Pogba was really poor for that goal, and like he's been guilty. He was actually guilty of that. Like throughout the first half, where he was just caught on the ball, he was too slow, and like that first goal was just a big mess. But like I had no idea why we kept trying to pass it out the back when that is exactly what Southampton wanted us to do. Like
they didn't know it. They didn't know any better. There was nobody there telling them, "Okay, stop doing that." The players should know better themselves. But if they're not being explicitly they just thought, "Listen, it's Vibes FC with Ollie. Yeah,
that's just pathetic.
We've got much better players than the other team. Just keep playing, and eventually you're gonna win." And the time that they actually needed their coach to be like, "Okay, to build up, you cannot go through the middle because they keep taking it." He was just on the side, just waiting for them to do what they've been doing. So yeah,
fam, like stuff like that. Those small things are just like those are the differences between us winning that game and like if we don't concede that goal, then maybe Southampton drop off a bit more, and then we can maybe grind out like a 2-0 or a 2-1. But just from minute one, it was just basically just keep doing what you're doing.
For the whole game.
for the whole game, there was absolutely no change in like trying to go over their press, like targeting places. Like it was just the same thing over and over again. And like that was the whole performance. Just players doing the same thing over and over again because in other games it was working, but today it wasn't. Bruno especially.
No, we'll get to Bruno. Let's go from back to front. So
my
we've done
God.
we've done DDG. I feel like in his kind of monologue there, Tim, he kind of acknowledged the points that you were going to mention. But if you want to still add a bit to that, that's
basically,
fine.
like, DDG's not getting no blame from me, bro. Your best player has asked for the ball in a position where at the time he's got no one around him. He's got no one around him, but you just need to just be more aware because I think it was Ward-Prowse that eventually nicks the ball off him. Other players, when they feel a bit of pressure, they just go back to where they came from and start again. Pogba's literally put his hand out and asked for the ball, bro. He's our best player. He's our best player on the ball. Like, you've got Lindelof there, you've got Maguire on either side, then you've got Wan-Bissaka and you've got Shaw. I'm not being funny. When Pogba asks for the ball and those are your other options, you're giving the ball to Pogba. He needs to be a lot better. He needs to be a lot better. He was too lackadaisical. He thought that he was strolling. He thought he was playing against flipping, who did we beat the other day? Brighton or something. He thought he was playing against them. And he just got caught in possession. That's it. It's nothing to do with De Gea. De Gea didn't have nothing wrong, bro. Like, he's given the ball to the best player on the park, and the best player on the park is not supposed to lose it like that. And that's it. We've gone 1-0 down.
Cool. All right, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Disu, I'll let you kick off proceedings. Wan-Bissaka.
Boy, speechless. Absolutely speechless, fam.
Oh my God.
Okay, so what? Are we done with pretending we're calm with him being shit going forward because he's elite defensively? We can drop that now, yeah?
I said I'm not doing this next season.
This is said we need a right back.
I'm not doing it.
It's right back now. Where's that on the priority list suddenly? Oh my word. They were playing the whole for periods. They were playing the game on the left hand side of the pitch exclusively, and Wan-Bissaka was just out on the far right by himself. Like, his teammates didn't want to give it to him, and Southampton were confident that if this guy gets the ball, we can get across and we're taking it off him.
Some of his decisions to, like, when I'm going to try and beat the fullback, I'm just like, big man, there's two man there. You're not getting down that side. Oh, brother, just this. Oh, next question. Does
anyone want to add anything in regards to Wan-Bissaka, Rodney?
Yeah, it was a poor performance from him, both defensively and offensively. You don't normally see defensively him being that bad, so like you can just say, forgive him for the foolishness that he does going forward. But when you're bad defensively and bad offensively, then obviously most people are going to highlight the offensive errors a bit more. Like when he picked up the ball in the box and he just was on his heels, he didn't even know what to do. I think he just bounced off his. I don't even know what happened to him there, because every time he gets the ball, I just laugh. So cool. I don't even concentrate on what he does. Okay. But I think today that was probably his worst game
by far.
Us. And a few of the players, strangely enough, like we've got enough quality where you can have maybe one or two bad performances, but a lot of the players today were far below the level they've been recently. I think it was coming because even against Aston Villa, we weren't great, to be honest with you.
Bournemouth too.
Like, the thing is, I asked it on the last pod, and I was like, we haven't been playing well, but we're winning. And there's this thing, depending on the perspective you're looking at things, you're going to see it differently. For me, that's worrying, right? You're playing teams that aren't good and you're not playing well. Even though you're winning, it's not like, oh, yeah, we're going to now play a better team and things are going to be better.
I don't think that's fair. I think we actually have been playing well. I just think...
I think it's down to fatigue, isn't it? Like, guys are tired.
We're so much better than these teams. We literally just go in control in the second half of these games. I think like we've been playing on first and second gear because these teams aren't as good as us. Like, I think we've been playing fatigue plays a part, but I don't think it's just fatigue. And it's Southampton, the way they play, and listeners of Muga will know that we, especially myself, Mariah, a few others, we've been talking about when teams press our back line, we have no idea what to do. We have none. If teams let us have the ball and give it to Matic and Pogba on a half turn, deep into our own half, you're going to lose. You're going to lose because their man are going to fizz the ball through into Greenwood, Bruno, But if you stop us getting to those men in the first place, we have no idea out because only Luke Shaw can play in the first phase. Maguire can't, Lindelof can't, Wan-Bissaka, you know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Can't.
Cool.
And
So the next player I wanted to ask about was Harry Maguire. Seb, what are your thoughts on Harry Maguire this evening?
I didn't think Maguire did too bad. Like I didn't think it was rubbish. I don't think like he got into. So obviously everybody knows Maguire 1v1 is rubbish. But I don't think he got into those any of those scenarios. My big thing about Maguire is one thing I can rely on you is the last 5 minutes of games is to be the captain. You were bought for 80 million. So regardless of how you play throughout the whole game, you're supposed to see us through. I don't care about Lindelof. I don't care about Wan-Bissaka. I don't care about Shaw. You are supposed to take charge as the captain, as the £80 million centre back.
You don't care about them, man. You're talking about 140 million worth of talent there,
but I'm saying, forget about them, man. I'm saying last minute, Maguire, that's you, bro. I don't care.
Have you not seen his comments?
What did my man say?
He said, defender set place is something we've improved on lately. Their guy can't get a header at the near post with 4 of our guys around him.
Well, duh.
Like man's trying to say, yo, basically you man should clear that header still. Shut up, man.
Or even like Fred and that, we'll go on to him anyway. But yeah, I just feel like last 5 minutes he kind of settled into more like Leicester phase. I didn't see him really commanding anything. I didn't really see him calming down anything. And that's the bare minimum I expect if you're the captain of the club. Do you know what I mean? Everybody else on the pitch at the time, all our midfielders, they were rubbish. They were toasted. So as the captain, as the centre-back, you're supposed to be chatting to people and saying, yo, listen, there's a minute left. Let's calm it down. Let's dig deep. And that's where the experience comes in. And that's where, sometimes you need a player in your team that's won things. Because if a centre-back in your team that's like a finished Rio, knows how to see that through. Do you know what I mean? A finished Rio knows how to see that through because he's been there before. And he'll be like, okay, lads, dig deep. Let's, like a minute to go. Start calling things, start telling people how to pattern up and whatever. Maguire was just coasting and he was just in the game. And we need a captain that's going to, look at the picture. So look at the game from like an overview and say, listen, this is what needs to be done. And he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't doing any of that. So for me, it was just poor on that end anyway.
Cool. Lindelof. Nikki, what were your thoughts on Lindelof this evening?
I thought it was actually good tonight until the last 5 seconds.
Yeah, basically. He was my man of the match.
Yeah, I agree. He didn't really put a foot wrong until then. I was kind of praising him. I was a bit surprised. He was on the front foot all the time. And then we know what happened.
This doesn't give him any blame for that goal. Are you in the same camp where it's really Fred's fault and Lindelof? Well, he tried to react, but he just didn't get there quick enough.
Yeah, I wouldn't really cuss him for it. I think Neville even said it. He was on the wrong side, but he wouldn't have prevented it if he was on the right side anyway.
Cool.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw, Elijah. What are your thoughts on Luke Shaw?
He had a weird game because there were instances where he showed quality in the final third. I think it was for, can't remember what chance it was. I think it was for the Pogba shot where he played a nice ball into Bruno with the outside of his foot, and then there was the Rashford pass. There was a Rashford goal which was offside, which he made the pass for, which was that's
classic Luke Shaw. Yeah.
Like when he has a chance to make that pass, he can make it. But then there's other, like, in general, I think the whole back four were a bit too slow on it, too many touches. Like, just up until it got to the front four, it was just too slow. And Shaw was like one of the main culprits of that. But he was actually kind of decent. Like, he done pretty well. Probably, definitely the best of our back 4 or 5.
He was better than Lindelof.
I would say, I think just because of the mistake at the end, which I know it's harsh, but like still,
He's a man. Yeah. Cool.
like, but I think Phil was decent. Yeah.
Cool. Matic, Timmy, what are your thoughts on Matic?
Bro, I praise Matic a lot, man, but he just in these games, like we just can't persist with him in these games because like he's too slow, bro. He's so slow, and they just won't give him no time to breathe. Like someone like Pogba, we know that if he like actually starts playing properly, then he can like avoid the press or like resist it or whatever. But Matic, like in a game like this where man are just going to be on you, like he's semi-redundant, fam. Like with the ball anyway. He didn't have a good game today, but then none of the midfield did. Actually, in fact, I'll go as far as saying like the midfield was probably the worst I've seen all season. Bruno was
100%.
shocking.
No,
Pogba was shocking.
Not all season,
Matic
but
was
definitely since
shocking.
the restart.
But since the restart, then this was actually shocking. Like Bruno dropped the 3 out of 10, Pogba dropped the 3 out of 10, Matic dropped the 3 out of 10. Like I had such high hopes for this game, but I'm actually bare upset. I don't even want to be on here. I'll be honest with you, man. Like, I'm proper, like I'm bare upset, bro.
Oh, sorry,
I
bro.
don't even get sad like this, bro. I'm bare
Sorry,
upset,
bro. They're gonna.
Bro,
you have to stop this though because they're gonna be watching us.
fam,
This is gonna be quoted. Yeah. So none of that.
Hey, Timmy, up, lad.
I had to change my top because I'd been sweating. I was sweating in that other top, boy. So I had to change to something dry for the pod. Pogba. This is open floor. Whoever wants to speak on Pogba, feel free to give your thoughts.
That might be his worst performance since the Southampton game under Jose. I can't lie. Yeah,
Got the drink. Here we go. Back.
yeah, bro. That was straight out of that type of game. Fam. That guy was terrible, man. Like,
the two Pogbas.
Yeah.
My word. There's two Americas. There's two fucking poor Pogbas, man. The fuck was that?
Nah, that was a disaster class to be
Like,
dragged off.
He
To
didn't
be dragged
speed
off
up.
at 65 minutes for Fred. Yeah, man.
He didn't speed up. At the water break, Ollie was like, quicker. It's got yeah. He didn't speed up, bro. He had no intention of speeding up his tempo. Like, oh my word, Pogba.
The thing is, I really want to blame on the fact that he's tired and this is his first games in a few months, but I really don't care. Like your standards, your standards can't drop.
Even a tired Pogba.
It's almost as if we're playing we were playing too well, bro. And like, don't even let me start.
Did they not watch anything? Did they not watch any game film?
Obviously not.
This is how Southampton play. This is how they play.
Like, that's the whole thing. It was such a naive performance. It was just basically, let's go do what we do, but not knowing that Southampton had been probably the second best team since the restart, and they want us to play short passes to press us. It was just so naive. There was no it was just poor game management, just naivety from everyone.
I don't think it was a naive thing. Yeah, I think it was more of an arrogance thing. It's more so we're so good, let's affect the game. So let's make Southampton think about what we do rather than we think about Southampton. So I can assume that was probably the team talk. We're good enough to implement our style in the game, and Southampton would have to adjust to us. But then Southampton are so well drilled. They're so well drilled. It just wasn't going to work, innit?
They didn't stop.
The thing is, Southampton, like their game is without the ball, bro. It's their press, like.
Yeah.
So even if we're doing what we do, then that means they're still going to do what they do.
They're always susceptible.
They're just gonna press us like they do. So I don't think it's a thing. Gone.
But it's just like, why? So if that's their game, why give it to them in the most dangerous areas? We kept playing it short.
Consistently.
Yeah, exactly. This is it. Exactly.
We did the same thing the whole
match. Whole game, yeah.
That's why to me it's so like naive, because once or twice, fine. But just even after 10 minutes, you're like, come on, man. Like, that's just stupid.
Even in the second half, I think about 60, 70 minutes, it was still going on. And I was like, Ollie, do something. And on the Discord, somebody's like, but what do you want him to do? I'm like, he needs to tell them to switch the tactics. They've been doing the same thing since the game started. The person's like, yeah, I hear you still.
Oh,
But, okay, cool.
This is the difference between coaches, bro. Adjustments. Like even you've seen other sports like basketball where there's 2-6 teams. The difference is the coaching who reacts to what adjustments. Like what Southampton was doing, and our personnel was a match made in heaven for Southampton. It was a recipe for us. Even at halftime in the Discord, we're talking, and I'll say, yo, we cannot keep trying to play through midfield. Go over the top to Rashford and Greenwood, or hit Martial on his feet. At worst, go to the fullbacks. Do not try to center. But what did the man do? The same thing. And obviously, our goal didn't come. The second goal didn't come from that. But it's just about game management. Like even another thing I was thinking, bruv, we're winning 2-1. We're deep to stoppage time. Where's the gamesmanship? No time wasting. No time on a free kick. Man, is just out here just.
Bro, it was so naive. It was such a naive performance. Like that is pissing me off. It was just like that's the difference between like a winning team. Like they would grind that result out. They would grind that out.
No crap, like man, I'm still trying to counter it. Bro, where is the gamesmanship?
Bro, keep the ball. Like Bruno, that second half, just flicking the ball everywhere.
He's the next player. So again,
that guy is a criminal. You would never want to hold a lead with Bruno in the team. That guy wants to create anytime, anywhere.
No, the thing is,
5 seconds left, he's flinging it down the channel. Bro, calm down. Pass it, man.
The decisions from Bruno in his passing were even bad because so many times we had a transition attack. It was the execution was.
Oh my! I don't think he got the weight on his pass. Any pass right.
Do you think we should have took him off though?
No.
Off already.
No.
Just stick him right wing. Just stick him right wing and just make him fling it.
It's true.
Put him up top, man.
Especially to bring on fucking McTominay as well.
The options are so poor.
Why do we always have to play 4-2-3-1? We can't adapt.
I think Carrick said during lockdown, the reason why I play 4-2-3-1 is so that it doesn't make it easy for them to press one player in the pivot. So rather than playing a 4-3-3, like you have one player there, so it's easy to press.
Guess what? We're sitting back trying to defend the lead.
Exactly.
So why don't we go flat 4, bro? Because and I say every pod, in between, behind our wide players, in front of our fullbacks, and to the right or left of our DMs, there's always space there.
Yeah.
Always. A man never addressed that. Bruv, the subs made things worse.
He just made subs. Like, fuck it. Just make subs. Like, just be seen to be, like, he makes the same subs every time. I'm just going to make the same.
It's true.
Tired. I was like, okay, do you know what? I hear it. But now.
No. When he came on, I was like, bruv, Fred is not better than this Pogba we just witnessed. Don't forget that. Fred is not better than that Pogba, I promise you. And he only went on to spend the next half an hour proving to us that he wasn't.
Well.
He's not better than that Pogba.
He said it from then.
Bruno and Fred in the same midfield, that's chaos.
My words.
I would pass a bit of the park.
You say, Ronnie?
We need a CM before we need Sancho now, bro. I can't.
I've always thought we needed a CM before.
We need a CM.
Before the right winger.
Bro, we need a DM. That's the most imperative thing.
That drop off in quality literally cost us the game.
We actually need two midfielders. We needed two centre mids.
We needed two midfielders every window since 2006. On my
It's not even a joke as well.
That's a fact.
Ask Elijah, Seb, and Mariah. That's all. Every chance window I say, what do we need? I say two
midfielders. That's what, fam. Every single window, fam. Oh, nah.
It's because every time we say we need two midfielders, every time we say we need two midfielders, we only buy one.
And that one is
last time we didn't even buy one.
Yeah. Gosh. Okay, cool. The forward line. I'll start with.
I can't fault all of them.
Mason was quiet, but I think even in the times he got on the ball, he's got good all-round play.
Yeah.
He's got good all-round play.
Mees was trying it because of his agenda. Yeah, it was like, oh, Mason was playing bad. Listen, people need to. Wait. One second. People, wait. One second. People need to stop that thing where if a player doesn't do anything, doesn't mean they played bad. If they've retained the ball and they've passed the ball and they haven't lost the ball, just because they've done, they played okay. Like,
did they even touch the ball?
It was a nothing game for Mason. Nothing game for Mason, but it was all right because the other two were at it. You know what I'm saying? Like the front three got let down today. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
I thought Marshall and Rashford were quality.
Marshall was on a carry job today still.
Yeah,
he was trying to carry us to that dub again, and we let him down again. Again.
Well, obviously, you know what? I'm blaming. This is Pogba's fault.
If he kept on Pogba,
it's Ollie's fault, man.
This is Pogba's fault.
He should have kept him on, man. He should have kept him on.
Bruv,
I promise you, if Pogba stays on, if Pogba stays on, we don't draw that match.
That's a fact.
We lose that match.
We might lose though. Like,
we might lose.
We might win or we might lose. I can't lie. We might win. We might lose. I can't lie. I can't. Fam, that Pogba performance, like, let's not get it twisted. That guy was horrendous today.
You know what? Let me say, I realize man are trying to like softly glaze over this Pogba. Let me tell you, how long?
No, we're not, bro. We're not.
Wait.
65 minutes.
Wait.
65.
He lost possession more times than Matic, who played the whole game.
Yeah.
Bro,
Wait, stop! You're giving people ammo.
Bro,
The truth is the truth,
was the
man.
best. Match was the best out of the three. But the thing of Pogba was playing horrible. But the thing of Pogba, even a literally disabled and drunken Pogba in transition,
We'll bring one moment of brilliance.
is going to do something. Do you know what I mean? That last 20 minutes, we had no transitional threat. None.
Yeah,
We might have won, but
we
might
had
have lost.
one run from Martial. We literally had that run from Martial, which was special in itself. Other than that, we was under the cosh. We was under the cosh from when Pogba went off.
That's what I said.
Literally.
When things like this happened, we should do what City used to do with Yaya and just push Pogba up top, like push Pogba right between like the attackers, and then just bring on the defensive players. Because I feel
that why that's an issue, because that means Fred is still covering the pitch the same way.
But we needed somebody, bro. Like one of them, either Pogba or Bruno, one of them had to come off. Like
No. Nah, what you do is you put Bruno right wing,
let
him across and inshallah all the time.
Yeah.
Wow. And then
no. But the thing is, he does that for Portugal though. So it's not foreign. It's not foreign. He's not foreign. He'll play right wing for Portugal and he'll cross an inshallah. He does that. So it's not foreign.
Trying to find Ronaldo, I respect it still.
It's not foreign. So and then do you know what? I would do that and bring on Igalo.
Yeah, no. Oh my word, Igalo in this environment. In this economy? Nah. Uncle, nah, man. Nah. They would have cut him. He would have bled pounded yam, man.
I'm so disgusted, bro.
That's atrocious.
They're bottom half of the league. Get a dub.
Terrible, exactly.
Top foot is wrapped up. You get me,
bro?
There's no excuse. In the situation we were in, and basically winning that game guarantees us top 4. Yeah. That is disgraceful. That is disgraceful from the players. That is disgraceful from Ollie. That's disgraceful, and it
doesn't guarantee us top 4 though.
It doesn't, but
basically did.
Mentally, we had to go Leicester.
Yeah,
but bro, it would have been done by then. It would have been done by then.
It doesn't guarantee anything. Bro, it just puts us in the
It literally would have been done by then.
It basically guarantees it. Of course, mathematically, it doesn't guarantee it. But in terms of everything that's come afterwards, us getting that first spot after having trailed those 2 teams the whole season, we're going into the last 3 games in a very, very strong position. A very, very strong position. I don't think we come out of that game with Sutton, who are the hardest team we had left to play, winning that and then letting it slip.
Yeah.
Now the down groups. Now how are they going to get themselves back? How are they going to get themselves back up for that? Because now you're going to feel even more tired because you've thrown it away. When you're tired and things are going well, you confirm it. Just another game. We get another win.
We've got Palace before Chelsea.
Yeah, we got Palace on Thursday.
My God.
We have to throw the Chelsea game. I'm sorry. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yo. Because if
you think these men are going to go and do something on Thursday?
Bro, we need to rotate.
I think we can make changes versus Palace and still win the game. Yeah. Palace are on holiday, man.
That's the thing. Like,
That's when Benteke started dunking on Lindelof.
I don't
Nah,
exactly. I don't put anything past these men now. I don't put nothing past these men.
Benteke is
Come on,
suspended for that game.
Palace-
I don't trust
Palace ain't
them.
gonna-
You better play the same 11 again and
Nah, nah.
3-0 up at half time.
On guard of
Bro.
them.
Bro, I'm not joking. I
Let
do
them
not
die on
trust
that
these
pitch, bro.
man. Yeah, bro, play
Die on
that
that pitch,
same
bro.
11
I was
on
gonna say
Thursday,
bring in Fred
bro,
for Matic
and
that
get
game.
it done in the first half.
I won't say bring in Fred for Matic that game, but nah, I changed my mind. No,
Get it done.
No
Get it
fucking
done.
way, bro.
Get it done in
Bro,
the
Palace
first
aren't.
half. That is-
Palace,
that is
guys.
disgusting.
Palace aren't gonna press us, man, like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want
If
to
at
see
all.
Fred
Bro,
ever
did
again.
you lot, excuse me, bro, I was at Old Trafford when they dumped on us 2-1, bro.
Oh,
Please, let's not sleep on them, man.
nah.
Because they
Not
will
this
get
Palace,
us.
That's the
man.
different
Not
Palace,
this
bro.
Palace, man.
Bro, it's the same Palace, fam.
No, it's
It
not.
was
It's a
earlier
different
this
Palace, bro.
season. The same AU, the same Zaha, the same Van
It's a
Aanholt,
different
bro.
Palace,
Same
bro. They got
lot,
nothing
bro.
to play for. Their
got
season's
nothing to play
done.
for.
Okay.
Southampton came and gave us a two-piece.
Listen,
No,
I
Zach.
pray, you know what I mean? I pray that you man are right, bro, because I do not trust these guys.
I can't
man.
lie.
Timmy, you
They
can't.
lost
Timmy's
everything.
giving us the full pendulum. Man was
Bro.
4-1 in it. Now we don't trust them at all.
Innit?
Bro,
Like,
I was so buzzing. And now all my confidence is just seeped out.
Southampton
All
are
of
a
it's
good
gone.
side, bro. Don't forget that. They're a good
That's
side,
the thing.
man.
Listen, I don't care how good they are because we are better than them. We should be beating them, bro. It's that simple. That what we saw today was fucking disgusting, man. I don't care, man. That was fucking disgusting, man.
I have no hope for top four. I can't lie.
Do you know what?
Bro, I've literally lost hope, bro.
I can't lie, my hope's gone.
Do you know what? It's
bro.
You're gonna fucking bums, bruv. They basically
Because-
You know are making me sick. You can't be
Bro.
like, well, you cannot be up to today. West side. And now I've got no hope
Bro.
for fucking top four.
Bro.
These mans
Bro.
are bums. I've got no hope for top
Look
four.
at what happened.
No,
Bro,
bums,
look at what happened.
No,
I know.
You see these games, it's
Yeah.
literally 11 against 11. There's no fans, bro.
Yeah.
It's
Timmy's coming out with that Michael Owen quote.
Bro,
The team that scores more. The team that scores more will win.
No, but listen. Listen, bro. It's literally the best 11 players should win, bro. It's like you're playing at the park. There's no pressure. Like,
No,
you're playing against, bro.
Two things. Timmy, it's two things. It's the best players, but then tactics will bridge the gap. And we saw today that that's exactly what their tactics
Brother,
did.
I'm not
But
being funny.
their tactics,
do you know? Hey, do you know what else?
11
Do you know
versus
what else?
11, you know?
I'm not being funny.
Hey,
I'm
do you
not
know
being
what else?
funny.
Yeah, go on, Ronnie.
Gone.
If the ball goes in the back of the net, it's a goal.
That was dry, but I know you want to make it seem like he's done something, so you can laugh if you want. That's why Seb went on mute because he knew that was dead as well. Rodney knew better, fam. Rodney knew better.
I said 11 versus 11.
Do better, bro. Do better. Listen, it's the same thing anyway, bro. We should be beating them, and that's just it. And now we don't beat them, fam. We just put ourselves under pressure. We can never capitalize. Ever capitalize.
Even the nature of it is the fact that, like, if, like, for example, it was like 2-2 for the last half an hour and we couldn't break them down, that's absolutely, well, it's not fine, but that just makes it easier. That makes it easier. I need to mute all of you lot, man. That makes it easier. That makes.
Oh,
You muted yourself, you bum.
You're muted. No one heard that. Oh, I think it was the nature. It was the nature of how that came across. We went down, we went up, and then we had a couple of good chances. So we had Rashford's chance that was blocked. Martial's run where he really should have passed it to Greenwood there, because Greenwood, free in the boxes, he's most likely scoring. But then to throw it away, like literally, if the game went on for another 30 seconds, we would have gotten the win. So to throw it away like that is so painful. And it was crazy because they then decided they wanted to just sit in a low block. You aren't good defenders. Why are you sitting in a low block thinking that you can see this out? The whole time through the Discord, all me, Sebi and Timmy were saying, if this stays 2-1, we're going to draw. If this stays 2-1, we're going to draw. If this stays 2-1, we're going to draw. And it happened. And they tricked us, lads and ladette. They tricked us, lads and ladette, where we thought we actually were doing stuff. But same old shit, man. Same old shit, man.
Nah,
Did
man.
us trick y'all?
Nah, see,
running around. You get them man running around, you think they're doing something. Running around, you think they're doing something. Nah.
But like, to be fair, like, this is our toughest fixture out of the lot. So
100%.
But okay, it was, and we didn't win it, man. What does it say about us, man?
Yeah, but
it's great. Battering Villa, battering Brighton, battering Bournemouth. Them teams are shit.
It says we're not ready, bro. That's what it says.
They're in the bottom 5, 6 teams.
No, that's not. Listen, you can't win them all.
Yeah, I mean,
out, man.
I mean, the thing is, you have to remember, like, you said, everyone knew it from the start. This Southampton game was perfect for them to press us and this was our toughest game. And the fact that we weren't able to see it through, it puts a dampener on everything. Because if we were able to grind that result out, it would just put a whole new tint on things. Just because it would show.
I had the Magnum of champagne ready to pop, man.
Bro, I had a bottle of Henny in the fridge, cooling, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the fact that if we won that way, it would have been a feather in our cap that we could win in a different way rather than
win ugly, man.
teams. So it's so important to win ugly, and like it's just like the personality of this team is just like it's so flaky. Like when you have guys like
who stood up,
you have guys like De Gea and Maguire and Lindelof, just like these fatty.
Rashford and Martial were the only ones, in that game who stood up.
They were on it,
and they did their jobs.
Yeah,
they did their jobs, man.
But the thing is, since these guys have been 18 and 19 years old, they've been carrying our team. Aren't the rest of them embarrassed? You are like 29-year-olds, and you're actually letting someone like 5 years younger carry you to top 4. Like, do you know how many times it's happened where Martial and Rashford have got us into a position to win a game, and then they just bottle it? It's pathetic. Like this is just like it's like these draws are like they grate the most. It's just pathetic, just loser shit, and I hate it because like just seeing guys like Lindelof on the line just kicking his leg and for the second goal, Maguire was marking Wan-Bissaka, and I don't understand why. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like just in those moments, like those are
7 out of 10,
moments.
ladies and gentlemen. 7 out of 10. He's been this season.
That's what I hate.
Bro, that guy's been a straight 4, man.
Bro.
He's been
we're not, bro. But second best defense in the league, though. Second best defense in the league.
False image.
The guy's a fucking bum, bro.
The worst thing about that, is that the fact is, at that corner, Maguire should be the one attacking the ball because he's the one who can head the best. So be at that front post and head the ball. Like that is taking responsibility, and that's the thing. Like you could do all these things just like being a captain, team talk. Bro, in those moments, that's when you be a captain, and he fucking wasn't. Like he always
constantly failing as well. Constantly.
It's always the small things with him that just like he's so average, and then the small things are just things that you could just tell it back. Like stuff like that where you take command, you head the ball out, and then we settle the game. But he's there marking Wan-Bissaka in the middle of the goal and doing what? Pathetic, man. Like, yeah.
Man are out here making moves and he's doing niche.
We'll make top 4 if Leicester and Chelsea drop points in the games that, like, if Chelsea drop points against
Liverpool,
we hope they're gonna smack Norwich Central tomorrow.
But like they've got tough games. So Leicester have Sheffield United, Spurs, and us, and then
Spurs are shit. They'll beat Spurs.
Nah. Leicester are terrible, though, man. They are terrible. They are actually terrible.
No CH now as well. Where's Morgan back in? Captain Morgan back in.
that guy's blood has been 50%
The problem is against
registered for 4
Spurs.
years, man.
The problem is against Spurs. Like, I'm backing Leicester, to be honest with you, because
I
Spurs
can't
are
call that one.
Spurs are disgusting, man.
I can't call that one. Jose's fighting for his life.
Jose's gonna throw it, man.
Jose's fighting for his life, bro.
Jose's gonna throw it because he don't.
He's
want
gonna
us to get
throw
top
it.
four.
I don't think he's in a position to throw any games.
Why?
He's fighting for his life. He's
Oh,
fighting for
the
his life.
Europa.
He ain't under
now,
pressure.
he's gonna throw it.
They need money to spend. They need to get Europa.
Yeah,
Europa, but furthermore, he's fighting, bruv. They end the season badly, come back and start poorly. He's gone, man.
Yeah.
Gone.
Hey, have we spoke about Pogba yet?
We have, but you can speak about him again if you want, man. What more do you want us to say? He was
I don't want to say
atrocious.
nothing.
He
So
was
I just
atrocious,
wanted,
man.
I think I left it when you was talking about him. I just want to make sure.
It's a game of two halves, Rodney. What do you want me to say, man?
Yes.
Fair enough.
I can't believe Timmy said at the end of the day, it's 11 versus.
Right there, yeah. Timmy went into. He went into your dar mode right there, man.
Sam, listen. Sometimes I don't explain myself very well, innit? What I mean is that obviously there's no plans. It's literally like.
Yeah, I know. We know what. Yeah, we know what you meant. We know.
Yeah,
we're just playing. We're just playing.
Fuck you, Rodney. You know what I mean? Like bruv, fuck this you especially. I'm telling you, yeah, I'm pointing at you, bro. Fuck you, this you. Nah, don't thumbs up at me either, bro.
Man, so let me go around the room, find out your final thoughts. Disu, do we make top 4?
Bruv, I don't trust these youths, but luckily for us, them other man are bums. So yeah, we'll squeak it because Leicester are 3-4. So yeah, we'll make it. Not off our own merit because we're fucking.
Oh no, sorry, I've just looked at the Sutton goal. Lindelof fully is in a tussle with this guy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You want to wrestle with a tussle?
Yeah, he's fully in a tussle with this guy, and the guy just deals with him. With him.
But do you think David De Gea should come for that?
Yep.
Yeah, that's very close to De Gea, man. My word.
Way too much on CTE, bro. That guy hasn't left his lines since 2000.
Bro, that guy just stays on his line. That's all he does. He loves his line, bro. He doesn't want to come off there.
Yeah. So, did you say we're making top 4 or not? Sorry, I didn't.
Sorry, a world-class keeper, goes and collects that.
He's not a world-class keeper. We know he's not.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's the difference as well. We need to get that changed because that's the game, You know, everybody's saying that you see it out, That's the moment. That's the moment there. That's the moment there.
Again, a leader from his position in goal comes and gets it and
comes
doesn't make it a conversation.
Game's done. So yeah, that's it as well.
They're a bunch of losers, man. Bunch of losers from
front. That whole back five is just loser mentality. Just all of them.
None of them. All of them are nicking a living. Mate.
I don't want to see Wan-Bissaka next season.
Hey.
I want to see it.
Hey.
Sebi, are we making top 4?
Yeah, luckily.
Of course, it's Sebi. Of course we are. There's nothing. You wouldn't say anything else.
Yeah.
Your team just embarrassed you. Your team just embarrassed you on national TV. But yes, we are making top 4.
No, do you know what it is? Yeah, it's just because the other men are bums. Literally, that's it, man.
If I'm Leicester and I'm Chelsea, I'm not. You do not let this slip. You do not let this slip. I am not letting this slip now.
But the thing is, Leicester still have to play us. That's it, bro.
Do you trust us to beat them? Yeah.
No. Listen, they've still got to play us, and the goal difference is now only like 2 or 3. I feel like we can beat them. I feel like we can beat them. So, where?
Rodney, do we make top 4?
No.
Timmy, do we make top 4?
Redacted, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro.
Elijah, are we going to make top 4?
I think we will, yeah.
Nikki, what do you think?
I think we're going to scrape it. My faith has dwindled a bit, but I still think we'll scrape it.
Yeah, I think we're going to make it too, but my word, I can't stand these players, man. I cannot stand.
Are there any listeners' questions?
But do you think I remember to ask for listeners' questions? Do Do you think I remember? What do you think they would possibly be asking us right now?
Hey, I want to see them go after that white guy, man. That's all I want.
Maguire's not a captain, man. I've had enough.
This isn't his.
That's like
This
fridge,
isn't.
man.
This isn't his level, and that's not his fault. That's not his fault. Like we have to remember, like we always take it out on the player. He didn't ask to be bought, and he didn't ask to be picked every week, man.
That's not my fault, man.
That's not his either. That's not his either.
Yeah, man. It's easier to blame him. I can't lie.
At this point,
have you not noticed that in all the interviews of players, nobody's ever come out and been like, "Yo, yeah, Maguire's leadership." It's only been Gary Neville talk about it in the studio. Nobody said, man, I've said, "Oh yeah," because we talk about Matic today. You get me? Now talk about Matic, yeah, like he's a proper, like he's proper, like I can't remember what word he used, but he spoke about how Matic was a good guide. People have spoken about Pogba. People have spoken about Matic. People have spoken about Mata in the past. No one Man United player has come out and said, "Oh yeah, Maguire, yeah, as a leader." Nobody.
Fam, the guy's a bum, bro.
Imagine what they're doing to him in training, 1v1, Martial and them.
Didn't you see that clip the club posted on the Twitter a few days ago with him like scratching his head and Martial just laughing? You know Martial runs rings just around him, man.
Yeah.
Bro. Let's talk about Tony though. Let's talk about Tony because as much as they were bad sports. Let's talk about Tony. Timmy, we've spoken. We had a pretty heated discussion on the Discord a few weeks ago in regards to Martial. Since then, have you seen anything since to make you change your mind on him?
Yeah, I have actually. I still don't think that he's gonna be that top striker, goal scorer. But his all-round game is when he's on it, his all-round game is phenomenal. Like today, I think apart from Lindelof before obviously the mistake, he was our best player, man.
I think it was our best player by distance.
Like he was very good. Like there's nothing I can say to fault him apart from the fact that he should have put us 1-0 up. But he made up for that anyway with a goal and an assist. I thought he was really good today, man. He should have got another one when he went on that amazing run, but fatigue, whatever. Like he was really, really good today, man. And if I can, like my thing isn't a talent thing with Martial. It's can he do it every game? You know what I mean? I just want him to do that every game, man. I've got no problem with him. I like him a lot. Please be consistent with it. And as soon as I can see more consistency from him, you're not going to hear me complain about him again, man.
That's very fair. Let's talk about Rashford. What did you guys think of his performance today?
He was really good.
Very well taken goal. He was very, very good today. Unlucky not to get a second, to be honest with you. Very unlucky. That was a fantastic block.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic.
A lot of people are saying he should have taken it earlier.
I love them two so much.
Yeah, man. Like,
I love them two so much, man.
Like the way them two link up is so amazing, man. Like it's just like you could just tell it's just
the way they created that chance. Beautiful. They have a understanding in that they link up with each other so well, man. It's really brilliant.
Really good technique. You could receive it anywhere. Could run. Could shoot. Pass. Cross. Whatever. Like, and as Elijah said, they've been putting us they've been putting us on their backs since they got here, and they were 18, 19 at the time. And Mourinho, I think, did such a disservice to both of them. And I think a lot of United fans owe both players massive apologies because literally 2.5 years of the development taken out. And
they should have had these seasons that they're having now 2 years ago.
And if you look at the people that they were dropped for, Sanchez, Lukaku, Lingard, it's criminal. It's criminal. Absolutely criminal. And what would they have been with somebody? Ollie's not the greatest of managers. He's not.
Someone with a bit of faith.
He isn't creating overloads in certain areas of the pitch to maximise their ability to run out players like a Pep or Klopp or Poch or, do you know what I mean, any of these other managers. No. He's like, oh, go on, lads, give me your all. And they're just quality. And they're
just balling off of natural ability.
Yeah, that's our team, though. That's why when Mano said, oh, you're going to give Ollie praise, I'm not giving Ollie praise. The only difference between February and now is that we've got amazing players.
Mead was discussing with me on the Discord, and he's like, "Well, you and Disu, you are very, you had a lot to say about Ollie. Are you ready to take your words back?" I'm like, "He hasn't done anything. He's just played lots of good players."
Ultimately, we are still fifth. We are still fifth.
From fifth to fifth.
This game shows it.
Been talking about Ollie. Ollie's doing this, Ollie's doing that. Bro, we're still fifth.
This
There's
game
3 games
shows
left.
the difference.
What's
This game,
He hasn't grown. He hasn't grown.
with Greenwood smacking the ball from 30 yards in your back foot to the top of the corner.
Exactly.
What's got to do with Pogba's invented passes or Bruno flicks around the corner or Martial and Rashford being wizards? No. It's not like
We tell the lads to express themselves. Shut the
nah,
fuck
but like,
up, man.
but like that's the thing. Like today is just shows the difference between a good coach, because even today, like our front line dug us out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
When really we could have easily lost that game, and just having quality players up the top of the pitch like got us a point. And then throughout the game there was just no coaching, there was no changes or anything.
There was no
like
game
that,
management, man.
like, that game shows to me exactly why I won't back this guy until I see something change. I won't back him, because for this whole time all I've seen is a team with good players,
Much better players, with much better players beating the inferior players.
Exactly.
I'm still shocked at the lack of game management. We're down to 10 men. That makes it even worse. We've got 10 men, and we're not even time wasting. We're not kicking the ball out the stands. We're not taking our time with the throw-ons. We're not kicking it line. We're not doing none of that. We're just...
They're not nasty. Like you see City, but all the nice play that they play. If you try and make a break on them, cynical foul. You're getting fouled, man. You're not getting to run at us in transition.
One attack they had, and Fred was behind Ings. I'm like, clip his legs. Didn't do it. I'm thinking,
Reggie.
if that was Fernandinho, man would have confiscated both his shin pads. Are you mad?
Bro, it's actually mad, because as soon as we went down to 10 men, the tactical change he made was to go 5 at the back with Fred left wing back here. And I'm thinking, what the hell is that? It didn't even make any sense, because what is Fred going to do as a left wing back? And then, like, just going 5 at the back just invites more pressure. So basically,
they have more space. They have more.
You've got less people to engage them further up.
Exactly.
And where they were causing this problem was in like the wide areas. The wide areas are kind of like left central or right central, where they pull our wing back of our fullback and right and wide player around and then get to the byline and get a cross in. You know what I'm saying? And by just effectively having 2 midfielders, you just gave them so much space across horizontally, and then obviously that's how they got a
corner.
And then boom, Maguire out here marking Wan-Bissaka and that, and then
Lindelof getting dunked on, boy. I saw when that guy came on Obafemi, I said, this guy's trouble, man. Imagine them guys. Imagine them uncles from Power League, man. Imagine them uncle from Power League. Stocky, you ain't taking him down.
That guy's Irish, you know. I can't believe it.
And I'm Brazilian. And I'm Brazilian, mate.
Man said he plays for Ireland. He's got caps for Ireland.
He's actually Irish, bro.
Mad thing.
That leprechaun, fam.
Let me not speak on that guy there, fam.
This team, they've disgraced us this evening, man. That was so bad. I'm not gonna gas any performance between now and the end of the season. I don't want to hear it, man. Don't want to hear it. Just get the season over and done with. Top 4, calm. But listen, man, we're still far away from where we need to be. But Ollie's not the guy to get us there either, man.
I've always said that. I've always
they were spazzing. They were spazzing on us from the start to the end. At no point did he interject, bro. You took
nothing.
Bro, this actually reminds me of when Bilbao came to Old Trafford, man.
Wow. One of the worst nights of my life.
That was so much worse, but it just reminded me, because it was like we just got spazzed on the whole game, and
nothing was happening. It's like you're watching somebody fall off a building in slow motion.
And then somehow we got 2 goals. And it was basically the same today. We somehow got 2 goals, but fam,
absolute Mazine, man. They don't make him like Ollie, I tell you that, mate. I tell you that for free.
What else saying, man?
Hey, man.
All right, cool. Guys, everyone, thank you for coming through. If we'd won, there was about 3 more people who were meant to show up this evening who just didn't have it in them. God bless them. I hope they've gotten to the bottom of the bottle of Las Olas, and I hope that helps them sleep well. That being said, I guess we'll be here next week. Yeah, you lot are gonna absolutely cane us tomorrow, and that's fine. That's fine. We deserve it. We stuck our necks out. We stuck our fucking necks out.
Fam,
But
you
these
lot done
fucking
me, fam.
pieces of
You lot-
shit. I
you
was
lot done
on
me.
Discord from Saturday. I've been on Discord acting a fool, lad.
Bro,
I
they're
was so
already
quiet.
on you, fam. They're
I was
already
so
on
quiet
you,
the whole
fam.
time.
I
I was
was
so quiet
hopping
the
in.
whole time.
When Chelsea got 3-piece, I was,
Me and Dissy were in there acting a fool. I was singing to Dan, bro.
Oh man, I kept quiet the whole time because I'm thinking we're gonna bottle this, man.
You know what? It was in the back of my mind, but I was like, if we win, I would have wasted. Like, if I waited till Monday to get onto him, by Monday, Saturday's loss doesn't hurt as much. I have to get you right here, right now. It's the same way when we went 1-0 down. Some people very quickly put that knife in because you know we ain't had a minute to put that knife in, and then by the time we
Hey,
went
just a quick question. Did we finish the game with 10 men?
Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't we have a fifth sub?
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
but
you can't take a sub then.
But the problem is that we used our free
all our periods,
intervals.
You can only make them on certain occasions.
Yeah, so we.
Okay.
Yeah, so because of that, we couldn't make another sub.
Got you.
I even had a meme as well for today's
It's
win.
a bit of a piss take though, because Saints should have been down to 10.
Yeah, but like, I mean, yeah, but it's just
did they have 11 men on?
Yeah, they did. But
on,
I mean, that tackle in the first half on Greenwood was nasty. Still,
Romeu,
yeah, it was nasty. But it's just like
red.
we shouldn't even need them to go down to 10 men just to play.
True. You owe us
Yeah. Against Palace, I want my 4 penalties. Right, Prof, imagine we're watching the game, yeah? Sebi and Timmy, they don't even say we need to score. They say we need a penalty.
I love it, man. I love the pens. The pens, bro.
Give me all the pens, fam.
Give me all the
Do you know
pens,
what?
man.
And there's something about a bummy win that's even sweeter.
A
win where you should.
Today would have been so sweet.
Word.
Today would have been so sweet.
You know, like Chelsea lost to Sheffield United, but they've been on the ropes a few times, but then they pulled out the win, and it hurt so much because you can't say shit. They won. What are you gonna say now? But everybody showed up to. Everybody was big Fendi this evening, boy. That Discord live was popping. Anyway, with that being said, yeah, go on, Seb. You want to say something?
I didn't even get to use my memes, bruv. I had a meme for today's win. And the thing is, yeah, as soon as we lost, because I saw it first, didn't it? Yeah. I was like, I saw it first, yeah. And I was just like, oh, they scored. And I just cut out, man. I couldn't take it. Bruv. That was horrible.
I was like, VAR, please.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
I was hoping for VAR, and then I saw Lindelof on the line acting a fool, man.
Yeah, that's it. No VAR coming to save us this time. People, I appreciate you coming through. The pain is still raw, but we'll still be here next week. Front line, doing what we do. Peace.
Bye.
When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.